In the 6th century BCE, Indian society operated under a massive, oppressive system of stratification. A person's birth dictated exactly where they stood in the social hierarchy, enforcing strict physical and social boundaries that limited virtually every aspect of human life. For anyone looking to escape this rigid structure and find a sense of peace, the options were starkly limited. You could either pursue the absolute, unchecked hedonism of royal life, or you could reject society entirely and submit your body to severe, self-torturing asceticism in the forest. Born into luxury in Lumbini around 563 BCE, a prince named Siddhartha Gautama experienced the peak of this indulgence. Through observation, he realized that both endless luxury and extreme physical deprivation were psychological dead ends. Neither actually cured human distress. He abandoned the safety of his royal palace and spent years searching for a functioning alternative to human suffering, a journey that culminated in a significant intellectual realization at the age of 35. Siddhartha approached the human condition like an engineer. He set out to diagnose a universal psychological problem and build a highly practical, reproducible solution to solve it. Anchored here at Bodh Gaya in modern-day Bihar, sitting under a peepal tree on the banks of the Niranjana River, he arrived at a definitive conclusion. He formulated the middle path. This was a precise psychological calibration that completely bypassed the pendulum swing between total indulgence and severe self-denial. This transition marked his shift from Siddhartha the prince to the Buddha, the awakened one. This single moment of clarity established a framework that would eventually shape the legal, social, and artistic foundations of over a dozen nations across Asia. The operational launch of this new philosophy happened at Sarnath, an event known as the Dharmachakra Pravartana. The monumental scale of the Dhamak Stupa marks the exact location of his first sermon. This diagram maps the Four Noble Truths as a medical diagnosis. Quadrant 1 identifies the symptom: existence contains suffering. The second identifies the root cause: endless desire. The third delivers the prognosis: a cure is possible. The final quadrant expands into the Eightfold path. This path provides 8 behavioral parameters: right view, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Removing divine intervention from the equation, this framework transferred total agency directly to the individual. Human beings now had a step-by-step manual to govern their own mental states. The immediate logistical problem after the Buddha's death was data preservation. How do you maintain the integrity of a purely oral philosophy across generations? The solution was the Tripitaka. Core principles were physically etched into palm leaves using Pali, keeping the system accessible to the public. These texts had 3 functions. Vinaya Pitaka handled discipline, Sutta Pitaka stored principles, and Abhidhamma Pitaka laid out philosophical mechanics. To resolve inevitable disputes and standardize these rules, powerful kings sponsored 4 major Buddhist councils. These were organized as major legislative assemblies, convened to standardize monastic rules across the growing community. The system finally fractured during the 4th Council in Kashmir, overseen by King Kanishka. As the philosophy scaled across millions of people, it adapted. What started as a singular psychological tool branched into varied institutionalized religions. The first major faction was Hinayana. Practicing monks, seen here collecting alms, adhered strictly to the original teachings, explicitly rejecting idol worship for austere tradition. The second faction, Mahayana, took a grander approach. They deified Buddha and embraced idol worship, a strategic move that successfully exported the religion to China, Japan, and Korea. A later evolution, known as Vajrayana, introduced complex mantric and tantric rituals, adding an entirely new layer of esoteric practice. The core tenets of Buddhism remained intact, but these distinct interpretations allowed the philosophy to translate into local customs. This ensured its survival as it moved through vastly different cultures across the entire globe. The immediate socio-political impact in India was immense. By rejecting the hereditary caste system and focusing on equality, Buddhism provided a structured alternative to the social hierarchy, offering new paths for status and education to the lower classes. This ideological shift triggered an explosion of intellectual infrastructure. It led directly to the birth of massive international learning centers like the universities at Nalanda and Vikramshila. It also catalyzed a monumental architectural boom, leaving behind brilliant public works like the intricate stone gateways of the Sanchi Stupa and the vast networks of the Ajanta caves. The philosophy even sparked a cross-cultural artistic renaissance. You can see this vividly in the Gandhara art style, which serves as a physical record of Greco-Buddhist fusion, blending Eastern thought with Western aesthetics. Buddhism eventually reshaped empires and funded global educational networks. Yet its longevity relies entirely on the exact same proposition Siddhartha made under a tree, offering a highly practical, compassionate path to navigate a world obsessed with extremes.